Hi guys, Angela here again, out here in my backyard, enjoying some morning coffee. And I thought it'd be a good time to share what's on my mind. Last video I mentioned that I wanted to do a series of videos dealing with the exception rather than the norm and things I see in society, and just around how people behave. So one of the topics I thought I'd deal with first, since it affects me so much on a daily basis, is work ethic. Just work, going to work and dealing with the people there. So it used to be that certain things were the exception rather than the norm, but now have become the norm rather than the exception. And one of those things deals with the work environment. People no longer, they seem to no longer have a work ethic. They don't take pride in doing a good job. They just pass the buck and just do everything they can to get to do as little work as possible and pass off the rest to others. So that's one thing I've observed. And another thing is not doing a good job and then not receiving correction to do a good job. I've had instances where I've told people, like, okay, you're doing this wrong, this should be done this way, because it affects me. If you don't do it right on your end, it's going to go to my end, and then I got to clean up the mess. But the usual reaction you'll get is, they'll try to blame someone else. Oh, that's what so-and-so told me how to do it. Or they say everyone makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. I know I made mistakes. But we have to learn from them. Correction is something, whether good or bad, whether, it affects us negatively, but we learn from it. I've lost jobs due to mistakes early on when I first started working, but they proved to be a learning experience for me. It hurt, sure, and you feel badly, but if it hadn't been for those mistakes and me losing my employment as a consequence, I wouldn't have had the, motivation to try not to do it again. So that's something that's severely lacking. People just want to be, just do however they want, whatever the way they want to do it, and not be corrected and expect to be compensated for it. And that's another thing. People just act like just showing up, you get a paycheck. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually work and do a good job, And also another thing is professionalism. I work in an office, and the atmosphere of offices today is so different from when I first started. There was a common courtesy, phone etiquette, a certain way you behave in an atmosphere in an office. You carried yourself a certain way. People have no self-control. They're loud. They're unprofessional. They're very familiar with people, with clients, patients, what have you. Sir, ma'am, nope. It's okay, sweetheart. Okay, my love. We had one patient comment to the girl, it's like, oh, it seems like everyone's your love. I mean, it's kind of sad, how things have fallen with the workplace environment, and they carry on like it's a party or a social club. That's not the way it should be. Everything should be, it shouldn't be like, I'm all for a little laugh here and there. I love to laugh, but, within reason. There's a time and a place. And the fact that many employers feel they just want to allow that is, I guess they feel, the time it takes to fire someone and retrain and rehire, retrain someone, it's hard. So I feel for employers. It's tough, and then you have to deal with the backlash when you discipline people these days. You never know what to expect, from something as minor as them, reviewing badly of you and, things like that, to God knows, office violence, So, yeah, it's a totally different world we live in, and it's sad, even no matter where you go, whether it's stores, restaurants, you can see people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing and not having a good work ethic, and people aren't looking out to help each other. It used to be when you worked in a work environment, people looked out for each other and helped each other out. Now it's all about me, me, me. I do what I want. I just show up. I just want my check. I don't care if my bad work affects you. So that's my thought for the day, the work environment. So I'll see you next time. I'll see you all soon. I'll think of the next topic that has been the norm, rather the exception. So, all right. Have a good day. Take care.